Okay, imagine this for a second. The US government doesn't just make contact with extraterrestrials. What if they actually exchanged people? Sent our own citizens to live light years away on an alien world? Sounds like pure science fiction, right? Well, for the incredibly controversial Project Serpo, this is the claimed history. This is honestly one of the most persistent, maybe strangest UFO conspiracy theories floating around. Its roots supposedly go way back to Roswell in '47, Cold War secrecy, whispers of alien survivors held by the government.
Correct.
And think about the implications. If Serpo is real, it's not just proof of ET life. It means our government kept arguably the biggest discovery in human history completely under wraps.
Absolutely, and that's really our goal for this deep dive. We're going to unpack the myth, the mystery, the whole conspiracy surrounding Project Serpo. We'll dig into where the story supposedly comes from, try to picture what life might have been like on this alien planet for the humans involved, and importantly, tackle the big debate. Was this some kind of genuine leak, actual disclosure, or just one of the most elaborate hoaxes ever pulled off?
So get comfortable. We're aiming to guide you through the key pieces, the really important bits from the sources we've looked at. Hopefully you'll come away feeling well-informed and, honestly, probably pretty fascinated by this whole thing. All right, let's get into it. How did this supposedly top-secret story, hidden for decades, even start to emerge? The modern narrative really kicked off around 2005. That's when these anonymous emails started appearing. Sent to a well-known UFO discussion group, the source claimed to be a retired government insider, someone from the Defense Intelligence Agency, the DIA, and the claim itself. It was, well, mind-blowing. A secret program running for decades involving direct collaboration between the US government and aliens. Aliens they called the EPENs, apparently short for extraterrestrial biological entities.
Yeah, and to grasp where this supposedly began, you really have to go back. Back to Roswell, New Mexico, 1947. The Serpo story claims that crash wasn't just about finding wreckage. It says there was a living alien survivor, and that this survivor was taken into military custody, communicated with officials, taught them about its species, its technology, and crucially, revealed where it came from. Its homeworld, according to the emails, was a planet orbiting Zeta Reticuli. That's a binary star system, about 39 light years from us. Now, what's really interesting here, and kind of gives the story legs for believers, is that Zeta Reticuli already had this deep connection in UFO lore. Remember the Betty and Barney Hill abduction case back in 1961? The star map Betty Hill described under hypnosis was later interpreted by some as pointing right to Zeta Reticuli. So this detail weaves Serpo into this existing tapestry of UFO mythology, you know? It feels connected.
Okay, so you have this alleged communication after Roswell, the revelation of the homeworld, and the story then suggests this led to, what? A formal agreement.
Essentially, yes. A kind of diplomatic exchange program hammered out between the US government and these EBENs. The basic idea was a trade. We send humans to Serpo, their planet. And the EBENs share their advanced knowledge, their technology, with us. A pretty audacious concept, you have to admit.
Audacious is one word for it. So how does something that out there actually get off the ground? I mean, practically speaking.
Well, according to the leaked information, the program officially launched in the mid-1960s, specifically in 1965. This was supposed to be humanity's big leap, right? A team of 12 was selected, all U.S. military personnel, 10 men, 2 women. And the selection criteria were incredibly strict. They needed top skills, obviously, peak physical condition, but also extreme psychological stability. They went through intense training, survival, linguistics, advanced science, the works.
But imagine the pressure.
Yeah.
And the secrecy. These people, their identities, if they existed, are completely unknown. A massive sacrifice.
Huge. The departure itself reads like sci-fi. The EBENs supposedly arrived in a huge interstellar ship, landed somewhere secret on Earth. The 12 Americans boarded this craft and left for Serpo. Destination: Zeta Reticuli system. The initial plan, 10 years, live with the EBENs, learn everything they could, study the technology, send reports back, and then return home after a decade.
10 years on an alien world. But you mentioned things didn't go exactly to plan.
That seems to be a recurring theme in the Serpo story, yeah. Nothing went quite as expected. Life on Serpo itself, based on the descriptions, sounds incredibly difficult. Picture this, a planet orbiting 2 suns, so constant daylight basically, and very, very hot. For the human team, the environment was a huge shock. The air was breathable, technically, but much thinner than Earth's, made everything exhausting. The landscape was mostly desert, arid, not much green, and finding drinkable water was a constant problem. Sources were apparently brackish.
Wow. Constant heat, thin air, bad water. Just existing sounds like a daily battle. Forget the mission goals for a second. How did they even survive day to day? What about food?
Well, that was another major struggle. The EBENs themselves were described as small humanoids, maybe 4 feet tall, Large heads, those classic almond-shaped eyes, but distinctly not the typical grays. They were said to have more human-like features, actually, and a strong sense of empathy, cooperation. Their society was apparently very structured, communal. No money, no war, no crime, shared resources, shared labor, and their communication, partly verbal but mostly telepathic, a huge barrier, or maybe an opportunity, depending how you look at it.
Telepathic communication. A society without crime.
Yeah.
Sounds almost utopian in some ways. But the human side of the story must have been rough. The accounts mention real hardships, right?
Absolutely. The food was a big one. Alien, mostly plant-based, didn't agree with the humans, caused a lot of illness. Tragically, the reports claim 2 team members died fairly early on, accidents or illness related to the environment. And the psychological toll, you can only imagine. Severe depression, intense homesickness, even psychological breakdowns. It was just so alien.
The sheer mental strength required is hard to fathom. But the story says the survivors, they did adapt eventually. They managed to push through.
Yes, gradually. They learned the Eben language, which must have been incredibly complex. They started participating in some of their rituals, building some kind of rapport, and they did study the technology. That was the core mission after all. This is where it gets really wild, thinking about what they might have learned. Advanced power systems, interstellar travel principles, hints of vast knowledge about the universe. Stuff far beyond what we knew then, or even now.
Right, that's the part that really grabs you, isn't it? It taps into that deep desire for, I don't know, cosmic answers. A shortcut to understanding the universe.
Yeah.
But it also makes you wonder, what's the catch? What does that kind of knowledge cost?
Good question. And the timeline itself changed, too. The mission was planned for 10 years, but it ended up lasting 13. Finally, in 1978, the remaining members of the team supposedly returned to Earth, again on an Eben spacecraft.
13 years. So how many actually came back?
Yeah.
And what happened to them then?
8. Out of the original 12, 8 returned. We mentioned the 2 who reportedly died on Serpo, and here's another twist. 2 others apparently chose not to come back. They decided to stay on Serpo, live out their lives there.
Stayed behind. Voluntarily. Wow. Okay, so the 8 who returned, what was their life like back on Earth? Did they just slot back in?
Not at all. It was anything but simple. They immediately went into extensive, highly classified debriefings, U.S. intelligence, poring over everything they experienced. Their health was reportedly a major issue. 13 years in that alien environment took a serious toll. Some sources claim several of them didn't live very long after returning, just a few more years, reintegrating into society. Immensely difficult, maybe impossible. And of course, there's zero official public record. Nothing. They vanish back into the shadows.
It really does stretch belief, doesn't it, the whole thing? Which brings us back to the question, how did a story this classified, this monumental, ever leak?
Right. It circles back to those 2005 emails, sent anonymously to Bill Ryan, who ran the UFO discussion group. From that point, it just caught fire online. Forums, websites, UFO communities, everyone was talking about Serpo, and then other people started coming forward, more alleged insiders. Some backed up the story, maybe with slight variations. Others shot it down completely, calling it deliberate disinformation, a total fabrication.
It definitely ignited a fierce debate that's still going on. Can you lay out the main arguments? What do the supporters point to, and what are the big criticisms from skeptics?
Sure. Supporters see Serpo as, well, a kind of elegant explanation for a lot of UFO puzzles. If Serpo is real, then Reticle makes sense as the starting point for actual contact. The decades of government secrecy around UFOs, understandable if you're hiding alien guests or a secret space program like this, and the Zeta Reticuli connection feels significant to them. It links Serpo to other established parts of UFO lore, like the Hill abduction. Some even see it as this grand unifying theory connecting dots between things like Majestic 12, Eisenhower's supposed alien meetings. It pulls it all together. But the skeptics have really strong points, too. I mean, first off, the timing and source. Anonymous emails, decades late, highly suspicious. Then there's the evidence problem. Zero physical proof has ever surfaced. No artifacts, no verifiable documents, no testimony from family members of these supposed missing military personnel. And frankly, a lot of the descriptions of Serpo the planet, the society they strike many as sounding a bit generic, like something out of maybe not great science fiction, which leads directly into the PSYOP theory, the psychological operation angle.
Ah, right, the idea that this whole thing was intentionally created.
Exactly. Could Project Serpo have been a sophisticated government disinformation campaign? Maybe designed by intelligence agencies like the CIA or others to muddy the waters. Mix some plausible details, maybe some grains of truth about classified tech or real incidents, with a lot of compelling fiction. The goal? To confuse UFO researchers, distract from actual secret military projects, maybe stuff happening at Area 51 or elsewhere, keep everyone chasing shadows.
It's a compelling counter-narrative. But true or not, you can't deny Serpo has made a mark, culturally speaking. It's a staple on UFO forums, documentaries cover it. Its ideas seem to seep into science fiction sometimes. People often bring up Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind from 1977, remember? That movie shows a secret government program where humans board the alien mothership at the end. There's always been speculation, maybe unfounded, that Spielberg had some kind of inside track, that the film was a form of soft disclosure.
That imagery in Close Encounters is powerful, isn't it? The government facilitating this human departure onto an alien craft. It definitely resonates with the Serpo premise. Whether Spielberg knew anything or just tapped into the zeitgeist, it shows this idea of human-alien exchange was in the air, perhaps. And today, the Serpo debate is as alive as ever. Skeptics remain unconvinced, pointing to the lack of proof. Believers hold on to the intricate details, the connections, arguing it's too complex to be a simple hoax. And now, think about the recent developments. The Pentagon releasing UAP reports, Congress holding hearings. There's renewed official interest in UFOs. So the question for you listening is, does this new context make a wild story like Serpo seem more plausible? Or does it just add another confusing layer to this massive puzzle of secrets and potential misinformation?
It really boils down to that fundamental question, doesn't it? What if we're not alone? What if contact already happened decades ago? Did 12 Americans really take that unbelievable journey in the 60s, live on an alien world? Or is Project Serpo just an incredibly elaborate story, a myth?
The definitive answer, well, it's still out there. Hidden somewhere in classified archives, maybe, or just lost to time and whispers.
But one thing is clear. The story of Project Serpo keeps capturing our imagination. Year after year, it fascinates us. And maybe that's because, deep down, part of us really wants to believe humanity has already dipped its toes into the vastness of the cosmos.
And perhaps, just perhaps, there's more truth to it than fiction. What aspect of this incredible deep dive stands out most to you?